Jamescarcass, Futureface 2020, Team Visitor Renata Dejour. My stock dog Zot, the history of altered human representation and its future impact upon mankind. Consultant Arkosh Schneider. The theme of my stock dog Zot had its beginnings in an essay I wrote for Joseph Tillman in the second semester about sculptural figures and their relationship to the space they occupy, many sculptures being located or rediscovered in underground spaces. These images, often from the very beginning, represent the human in an altered form, as a hybrid creature, or with exaggerated features. My thesis traces the history of these sculptures, how they have influenced science fiction, and may be used to shape, with the aid of technology, the human form of the future. The Futureface project began to form as an idea during the summer of last year. Both theoretical and practical work I did after that in the third semester made me realise that this was a design fiction project, essentially a branch of speculative design. Speculative design began to be established as a recognised discipline in the late 1990s, promoted by Dunn and Raby, two UK designers, and is widely practiced and taught at universities and design practices around the world. Design fiction is a design practice. It seeks to explore and criticise possible futures. The term was first used in 2005 by Bruce Sterling, an acclaimed science fiction author, and the concept was firmly established in 2009 by Julian Bleeker's essay Design Fiction. Design fiction is a way to tell stories about possible futures. It is important because the debates it provokes allows us to prepare, both physically and mentally, for things that we don't yet understand. I wish to briefly look at some of my earlier work. I have been making objects professionally for 3 decades using a variety of materials and techniques. From around 1992, I was based in London and using the theme of the head to explore technical possibilities for materials and using various innovative techniques involving casting glass, applying metals, and ceramics. A more recent concern has been to consciously contrast various materials in a single object, to more firmly establish the essential characteristics of each of the materials used. My stock dog Zot and the Futureface project are very interlinked. They both seek to explore future possibilities for the human form. The research I've done for each has crossed backwards and forwards. A constant exchange of information and ideas has taken place. Part of the inspiration for placing human development underground is the fact that many ancient objects are recovered from underground spaces. One of the key starting points for both my stock dog Zot and the Futureface project was 20th century sculptural representations of the head, especially in relation to the altering of the face and the way that also seems to imply an altering of the human senses. These heads also seem to be the result of the environments in which they were created. A further influence on the physical structure of what I am trying to express can be found in the works of Da Vinci. Da Vinci made a number of altered representations of the human face, and often visited specific locations in Milan to find certain types of faces, implying an effect of the environment upon the face, upon the senses. A further influence is the work of Mary Oxman of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Her futuristic work always involves a close integration of technology and material. The materials I have chosen to work with are ceramic, glass and plastic. I wish to contrast these materials, and by contrasting them, give a deeper insight into the nature of each material. Each material can be given a function, with the ceramic acting as a bone or shell and providing a structural foundation. Glass can represent translucent, eye-like senses, and the plastic can have a more technical function to imply new forms or new senses. The creative process is quite circular as opposed to linear. Drawings express ideas, and these are translated into maquettes. From these maquettes, models are created and turned into molds, and these molds are used to create the final objects. The glass and plastic components are then integrated into these forms. The ideas and drawing processes are then started again. Each time, modifications take place. Information and images generated at any stage of the process can be photographed and new images created using Photoshop. These new digital images are artworks in their own right, but also can be used to generate new ideas and thoughts about form, texture, colour, and they become part of the creative circle which I described earlier. The digital images also allow me to make a contrast between the old manual analog world of hand forming and the futuristic digital world. As a response to the COVID pandemic and the lockdown work from home scenario, I have constructed a couple of kilns to enable me to realize my ideas. These have been constructed from found materials. As a consequence of galleries closing, both in Hungary and in England, I no longer have an income, so costs have to be kept to a minimum. Raku has become the chosen technique for the ceramics. The deep colours, metallic finishes and rough patina are perfect for communicating textures that belong underground. The metallic finishes also give a wonderful futuristic feel to the pieces. New ceramic pieces are in progress, specifically for the addition of 3D printed components to be added. And by the middle of May, I should have completed between 40 to 50 pieces, illustrating concepts of sensory evolution and creation. I shall create a new website devoted to specifically and exclusively showcasing this new work, and just as importantly, the ideas behind it. There will be a gallery of objects as well as a comprehensive detailing of all of the background theoretical work. There will also be information detailing the working processes. As a longer-term goal, and when conditions allow, I would like to exhibit and document my work in various underground locations. This was my initial intention. Thank you for your attention.